good day. I'm a friend crypto Warlord, and today we will be looking at some XRP as we usually do. We're starting from the 30-day going down. So what we can see on the 30 days, at least on Poloniex, we have a little bit of hidden bull div building with regards to our higher return oscillator. Okay, percentage returns a little bit to the downside. Looking for a blue flash if it was to push through. Alright, so then we'll drop it down to the 21 day. See how quickly we can get this done. So the 21 day is looking for a little bit of mean reversion contraction, positively correlated, and we have some negative drift, which will obviously be pushing these through a little bit down, maybe help us deny off the top here. So this floats down. Naturally, it wants to go look to test lower. Okay, we will be dropping into the lower time frames to see what the real situation is here, because this is just crossed on the 21 day. So if to turn that down and have this still contracting would make it float up. Okay, so that's what you have to look out for. So then we go to the 14 day. So on the 14 day, you see this is what we're looking for. We're not looking for. This is the same move that will counter on the 21 day. Okay, so this is going to be sideways action between 21 day and the 14 day, basing itself off of a level somewhere in here, and we'll start to investigate. On the 15 minutes, you'll see that we are currently playing around on our 15-minute, on our daily volatility mean, but on the 15 minutes, you'll see. So 14-day return oscillator looking like it wants to put a top in. It's stuck in its daily range for here whilst it's trying to put it in its top. So you have some scoopity poopities coming in over here, contraction, a little bit of downwards. So this is going to be quite a confusing market for some. So let's see where we can start to find some clarity. 7 days. A little bit of toppy action here. We'll look for more of a long-term confirmation when we at least have a faster, so I would call it just like the super scalp to me, just because my time frames are low. My look back periods are low. So I'd look for continuation once this red line crosses through the mean reversion point here. We have a few crosses, so it looks like there's a little bit of top side scalping being put in here. As the rule goes, if we close 2 candles below some of these, you could say some of these funny diagonal lines, I'm just going to call them, you will be able to figure out 2 candles below. Then you'll be able to figure out, okay, cool, this is trend continuation, and that would usually be 2 candles until we get this follow through starting to peak in for mean reversion, and that would want to turn around the slower one. So that's what we'll be looking out for. So seeing as people are feeling a bit confused, where's the best place to go look for a little bit more clarity? On the downside, you can look for clarity at 71 cents on the 7 day. I'd say maybe that would line up with matching with the mean if the volatility picks up. So here's something that will counter, not counter, but helps you see why there's so much sideways action. And I like to trade this, and I weight this first and last through my whole process. So I go, okay, it's going up, what are these guys saying? We're coming into a random point that might not hit as hard, this isn't going to hit as hard, it's looking to trend, but it's in a random point. This is where we get clarity. So when this crosses through the mean, and this is still red, that will pump it up to the upside. If this doesn't cross through the mean, and that goes red, and this white line turns down, we'll carry on dumping to the downside. So it's my first and my last thing that I will make sure that I watch. So we have contraction whilst negatively correlated. It's going to add some positive drift. So if we were to look for a point in which this positive drift is trying to push itself off of, it would be one of our UMPs that we've got. Okay, at 75 cents. So we'll drop in onto the daily VRE, and you'll see that we're being held by this yellow line. Okay, so I would say from our daily mean VRE, that's where a lot of decisions will be made. So I think this has enough data. Let me put this on the 24 hour so we can come back to that. So there's a lot of sideways action that is happening at the moment. So then we'll put it okay, we'll do it 2 day, we'll do it on a daily. We'll do it on 24 hour on Binance. So 2 days expansion, not looking like it's gonna have that much follow through at the moment, considering that these two guys aren't pointing up with this expansion. We've lost a blue flash. A general downtrend looks to have turned around somewhere over here. So we have UMPs, we have a whole bunch of monthly levels coming in for it to touch. Previous dailies, no, this is previous weeklies coming into play over here, memory in the markets. Okay, return to the upside. This starting to look like it hit its outlier event. This is our bottom of our Fisher. So 73, I think we were saying 70, 71 previously, which would line up with these guys. I'd say that's for a very volatile move, maybe over the weekend. Look for a little bit of noise down here if it was to look for continuation, but as we can see, it's moving into a random point, so we'll have to wait for this to turn around and tell us let us know if our Shannon also confirms that we are moving out of a random point. Best time to take advantage of the market. Okay, so now I put it on 24 hours. This is on Binance. R. So 2 candles close below, and there you go, and it just activates itself in. Okay, so we're looking through serious spaghetti noodles here. Both of them are confirming random, so we'll look for some sideways action, or at least a bunch of fighting on the lower time frames to try start figuring out if this wants to go back to the mean now and start to correlate itself. Okay, if this one's up, if this one's red and this one's green, it means sideways. Vice versa, if this one's red and this one's green, sideways. When they match, and those guys match in the direction that they're pointing, then I know that I can go full waiting. So we have some expansion that looks like it's wanting to contract on a 12 hour. We have a mean that's looking to be defended. A whole bunch of let me move this over a bit. So you see here in the little window, a whole bunch of flashes in this region, so on the higher time frames. So maybe go looking for we'll go pop back around the 7 day and look for more hectic flashes. Okay, so we're below our Fisher on the 12 hour over here. That's cool. We really came up to test our UPM, ultimate power mean. In the daily, it could want to pull back in here. That's interesting. Close that. Okay, so this is what I'll be monitoring. I have 35 minutes till we close, until this airplane lands on the runway or takes off, depending if you're a passenger or fighter pilot. Okay, so this is gonna contract. This looks like it's very much extended, and the next best move would be for it to contract. This has gone through its mean. So contraction and positive correlation leads to negative drift. So currently it's said it's sideways. We have 35 minutes to confirm. So I'll drop it to the 6 hour. Tops in a lot of these guys, but we aren't near the mean, so it's quite hard to see if we're looking for follow through, or if you're looking for a little bit of hidden bull, which is on like the 21 day or something. If you want to add up to that, so correlation over here, volatility is contracting, whilst this is moved into positive correlation. That causes for a dump. As you can see, we are now ultimate power mean, given we have a whole lot of spaghettis. You could call it like a trend machine, but there's a more advanced one which is called the trend machine. Okay, so this is on the 3 hour. We're moving out of a random point on the 6 hour, so this is going for mean reversion. So this is what I'm saying, when this first guy starts to touch, you'll see that we start to move through. Okay, so it would be interesting to throw up a distribution cone, seeing as we have Is that 4 in a row? Or is that only 3 in a row? Okay. 1, 2, 3. It's only 3 in a row. But you can throw up a distribution cone so on that time frame, so you'd look on the 90 minute to see if you can spot them all in a row. Heavy expansion, a significant correlation to the downside. This is a dump, but as you can see, we're hitting our blue. So your dump is sort of starts to tail off when the blue starts to stop flashing. We can see that we're moving into a trend on the 3 hour. So I think I got a hair in here. Moving into a trend on the 3 hour. We've had our outlier event on our percentage returns. This is quite tight. So we'll be looking for maybe a little bit of follow through. Let's drop it down to the 90 minutes. Okay, so I've been watching throughout the day. This 90 minute has been quite active in the sense that it's been wanting to turn around. Bears have been taking advantage of this. Okay, so first mean, so I've got a little bit of confusion. This, if one is positively correlated, one's negatively correlated, you could also say, what's that? That's like a B. You could say that that is also considered sideways action, but it's a lot easier for it to figure itself out because it's just a few moving percent or ticks, however you want to measure it. 45 millions. Okay, so a little bit of confusion because we seem to be starting a next wave with some contraction, so this will maybe call for some sideways. I think it might be range bound as people try to figure out when this starts to print into the mean, and people start to figure out are we going up or down. But let's say we hang around here maybe until maybe for another 4 hours. Let's see, to plan for a bigger move. I think if you're too short, there's still some more opportunity to gather liquidity up here. I feel that a lot of the market is stressed, so look for people to be taken advantage of. Okay, so a little bit of mean reversion. So this is looking to now follow through into the higher time frames, but we have to look for exhaustion. So we saw exhaustion, was it on the 3 hour? It was on the 3 hour. So we see exhaustion on the 3 hour. This obviously has 30 minutes to close. So let's just pop into 30 minutes. There we go. Flashes. Positively correlated. If this expands and this is going down, this is going to be scalped into. It's not going to be that wicked of a move going up, and because it will be scalped into, that will help confirm this to the downside. It will take quite a bit of work from the bullets to turn this around. We do have some low volatility flashes, so this is a very interesting point to maybe monitor for lower time frames. At least just the candle body when it closes. 15 minutes looking to turn around. Expansion, higher period correlation is significantly positively correlated with the expansion here. So it does look like maybe the guys that are trying to take some fulls over here, maybe to push up and see if they can close above the daily mean for now in the next 30 minutes. So this is going to be the 15 minute. We've got 30 seconds. So we'll hang it out for 30 seconds, if you don't mind. Let's just have a look at the 30 minutes. Okay, that's printing down. It would need to do a little bit of work, hit the mean. That's easier to turn around, seeing as it is quite far out. Okay, 15 minutes. Can we get in time? 5 seconds. Lovely internet. So we want to watch for at least this 15 minute close. Zoom in. Okay, so we're printing new. It's trying to kick through. This is trying to base itself off for 45 minutes. Over here, a little bit of a random place to try add on. Let's see. On the mean, does it have some follow through? Look for it on the 5 minute. That one. There's your mean reversion on a 5 minute, which would help. It's a very random place here, but it does look like it can get wicked into. If it wants to start building up pressure here. Okay, so what's our 1 minute saying? Has that thing been beaten all the way down here? No. this. This looks like it's just gonna drag itself through. Yeah, a little bit of a confusing time. Maybe just start zoom out. Let's see what our higher time frames have to say. Positively correlated. It's just looking like it wants to drag down for the weekend, maybe, hey? So it'll take a little bit of work to help defend this 12-hour. Given we're contracting here, you need to turn the Pearson correlation down when this is contracting. Then it will float up very easily. 6-hour also getting capped. This is looking for a little bit more continuation, but we have based off of the ultimate power mean. So 6-hour closes 2 candles below the ultimate power mean, and you look for continuation down. Seems to have caught up here. So let's go see on our 1 minute how we are responding to our daily VRE mean. Okay, so we've tagged it. We're getting dragged. Yeah, 2 candles below. A lot of action over here. It's got a big range on the Fisher. 67. We were talking about this before this did continue. It would be interesting to see if there obviously there'll be buyers here. Yeah. Whole bunch of mean reversion, throw up a distribution cone. And that's actually what I should be doing, but this guy needs to finish printing before we throw up the distribution cone. So I'll do that on Monday morning, which is about 56 hours from now. I'll throw up a distribution cone on how this candle falls off, and then I'd say from there we'll be able to see if it wants to carry on into this fissure or that fissure, and we'll be able to give some times. Just expand quite far. Yeah, this play will maybe start to figure itself out by June 20th through here. If it does, then it will break through its trend a bit faster. If it does break through before June 20th. But yeah, this is what you're looking for for Monday to cross through, and that's still red. That helps you bulls. If that gets turned around over here and that goes red, this has continuation. It will be a very hard time to try to start basing levels off of. So there we are, we're into our green. Okay, there we go. Pick up, flash off, start to turn that thing around. Let's see, contraction negatively correlated. This one needs to go green, or that needs to turn around. That will cause a pump. This one needs to tag off. That's had its outlier event. This is up, flash off. Maybe from here it wants to go test its daily mean. There we go. Let's wait for this thing to finish printing. I'll lift it up. Let's throw some applause because we're very low. I need these guys on. Cool. Wicket here. Wants to move back up. How many bands have we got? We're at the bottom of these. Yeah. So it feels like the 4th coin flip for me. When it hits here, I would wait for this red. Well, this ultimate power mean to come through these bands, you could say, and then that's when I'll know that this would be a fill. So we have that on a higher term time frame, so this could be a fill for that higher term time frame to push back in here somewhere. Crossing through. Okay, significantly negatively correlated, contracting, a little bit of sideways. Okay, trend is starting to contract. C4 continuation. Flash off through the mean expansion. Just need to close this thing above here. If that candle closes, now it's pumped too far. Now I really have to do a lot of work, but if it just closed above here, then the next candle would be very easy to print. At least 2 green candles into here. See, now you have to put up a lot of work. That's mean reverted. Yeah. So now they have to close this candle above this candle, and then the next 2 candles above that, in order to bring this thing through its power mean, through the mean reversion point, and it's staying above the power mean, and then you'll have a little bit of continuation to the upside. But they messed it up. This is like a easy way to catch a front run on a 1 minute, and because it gets exhausted like this, it now from the 1 minute you start going back reverse, and you start to look for trend continuation to the downside. It's just because they hit it too hard. If you printed 2 or 3 candles this high, these things would already be at the mean. This would line up with the power mean, so it'd take less buying power to get it up here, and then you can push it through. So here the general idea would now be this line needs to close above the white line, and then this green line needs to close above the orange and the white line, and when that happens, this candle would pretty much be closing above the ultimate power mean, making it go green. So those are the kind of things you have to look out for. Contraction sideways, negatively correlating. Is it going to contract? Boom. Significantly correlated. There you go. So yeah, just because they throw in this thing, that one big ass candle on a 1 minute in a very nice zone, it makes people work so much harder. So this thing's going to get drilled into here. I'll say maybe it will go green once we have ultimate power mean touch one of our VREs. Then a serious fight could come through to back this now. So yeah, they exhaust it because you use one candle to take it from here to here, and you just get scalped out. So we're going to look for this to cross here, and usually when that crosses here, this thing will either be halfway to here, and then the next candle can maybe print and touch. Contraction. Okay, now it's a little bit confused. Okay, so you might not be able to see it, but I need to see all these indicators. Okay, let me contract that a bit. Okay. Significantly correlated, positive upside. There you go. So this is what we're looking for. So it's through its mean. That was our first green flash. Okay. Now this is fighting for a mean. What's our trend like? We're done going back to a random point. So the easiest place to base it off of when you're going back to a random point is VRE. Okay, so that needs to turn around quite a lot in order for this thing to not be like a magnet to VRE anymore. Sideways, positive, that's going to get it there. And then let's see. So now this guy just got nailed for putting this in, where we're back to the same place. Now they're going to try strike again. So now this is taking this little green mean closer to it. Okay, so that's flashed through, printing above the green, and now there needs to be 2 candles, and then you can look for continuation maybe to this level or that level. Again, if they run it on this candle, then it's easier to just short it back down, already having its outlier event, and hasn't even touched anything. So there's a little bit of trend expansion, so it is wanting to say, okay, we've moved from a random point here. They consider this a random point, and then a trend is looking to be found from this random point. So now it's having a very big outlier when it touches. So this would be, if it doesn't print above this thing, then you start to look for a scalp here, I would say. Just if you don't pay trading fees, you can make those kind of scalps. There you go. There's changing of colors. UMP, come back, touch UMP. So if you're just using UMP, you'd be like, it's going to come back and touch UMP. But it's also, this UMP is just turned around and come back through this thing. So let's see if there's still some support here. Okay, contraction is negatively correlated. So this is looking to float to the upside. So maybe see if bots and algos will take that. Okay. Movie mode. It's the fastest way to learn. It is the fastest way to learn. So there's us trying to confirm, and not us. There's the indicators trying to confirm an outlier event. One more print. It just needs to print pretty much over here, and then it will confirm the cross. So whatever really happens in between here and there doesn't really matter much. But if it closes over here, then it starts to confirm the cross. Okay, contraction, negatively correlated. Contraction, positive drift. So the algos are buying this up. When that crosses through, and if that still stays green, then the algos will be buying this up. But this is to confirm that, and the algos, they'll confirm themselves. No. Sideways maybe until this candle closes. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe a little wick pink just to give it what it wants. Okay. And then that does make sense. Okay. So now it's going to be easier to turn both these things around and make that expand. Or make that expand and push these down. Okay. So this is not trying to... This is quite a cool place. So you gotta be quick now. There will be people looking for continuation from here. Bots and algos have contraction, negatively correlated, positive drift. Okay, so now they're looking to really start buying it up at this very finicky moment. See, even though this thing is having its outlier event, the Shannon is telling me, okay, so we have two crosses. Now we're going sideways. We have two up and above. Contraction, still sideways. Okay, now this will be a telling candle. Significantly correlated contraction. That's gonna. So that's saying volatility is contracting. And price action, bigger. Now that's following up. Okay, so no one believed, wanted to follow through with that. Okay, bearish div, Shannon versus returns, volatility versus returns. So this can generate a lot of noise. Let's go see who's trying to set themselves up. 15 minutes, we got 19 seconds to close. Okay, 15 minutes looking to cross here, and then we're looking for a brief flash off. Positive correlation is flashed off. It's quite high up. It just needs to go red and pull itself up. Go red. This one needs to go red. There you go. Oh, this is looking like continuation if this doesn't start to print a little higher to the downside. Okay, they have to at least print halfway above here, I'd say, to keep this thing up here. So a 15-minute cross confirmed. What's the 1 minute wanting to do? Expand to the downside. Okay, so 1 minute bear div got hold off. Two candles up. Take some time. Okay, so I'd say 3, 4, 5. In like 2 hours, you could say will be making some noise. I would say within 2 hours, maybe we're making noise at this mean. It's gonna cross up. It's still got a lot of work to push through here. Base it, leave it off on the 45. Okay, 15 minutes left on the 45. This thing's been getting munched. Contraction significantly correlated. Starting to end itself off. Next best violent wick. Base itself over here. But I'd say for daily, for an hour after daily, midday, so halfway through the daily open, I think we'll be back here to just be sitting at daily VRE level, and then from there we look to see what the 12 hours done. If it wants to confirm itself to print lower, if the next 12 hour candle closes below the daily VRE mean, you expect downside. If the next candle closes above the daily VRE mean, you expect to see a little bit more push to the upside. So that maybe help you guys for the weekend. Next best move for this is to contract and then will be correlated. So contraction will lead to negative drift. So maybe into this area over the weekend. If you don't close 12 hour candles above 777, you could say. Yep, 777. Alright. Wish you all the best. Have a good week further.